or guests do not state or reflect those of the company, its management, sponsors, or any entities they represent.
Oh, it's lit. We prime time. Subscribe, like, and share. Give us your feedback. Yo, I'm Manny at the plate and Kobe off a steal. Gretzky for the goal and Brady at the wheel. I'm a game changer, the Osaka of the tennis, and breaking scoreboards. Simone of the Olympics, defense and big business. The Mayweather who way better. From the greatness of Jim Brown, I've been down. Talking sports before I was off the porch. Screaming Bo knows while Jordan was playing horse. Late 80s getting torched by the drive and the shot. 2016 got a ring off the 3 in the block. They eased to forgot the cardiac kids. Price and Doherty, Bell in the Indian years. This who it is. Your host DeeTrynt, yo, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer. Yo, your host DeeTrynt, that's a name banger. Come in the streets and talk sports with the game changer.
DeeTrynt, Game Changer Sports Talk in the Street Sports, streaming on all social platforms. All right, we on YouTube, we on Twitch. Follow us on Facebook at DeeTrynt or at Industry Sports. Follow us on IG at DeeTrynt or at Industry Sports. Follow us on X. Y'all know it's Twitter at Industry Sports or at DeeTrynt. And if you missed the live streams, you can catch replays on various streaming platforms. Man, what's really good? All right, it's a Monday. You know, it ain't Victory Monday, but it's a Monday, right? We had a very, very interesting weekend, to say the least. It's a lot of Browns fans that are really upset, and they don't like the way that the team is being handled so far. I don't know, man. I think it takes a lot to please a lot of hometown fans. And you know, when you're not used to seeing something, it's hard for you to grasp exactly what's going on, you know, because we all want what we want, the way we want it, how we want it, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? We just got to be realistic that, you know, because something looks bad doesn't necessarily mean it is bad. And, you know, because something isn't going the way you want it to go, doesn't mean that it doesn't have a chance to go in the right direction. Now, we're only in week 5, you know, so, I mean, and your level of anger with the Browns is probably contingent on your expectations. So because I don't really expect a lot out of the Browns, I'm not really upset about what they do, what they don't do, versus more ecstatic about what they do. Or what, you know, they end up do, what end up does happen. Do just sounded so crazy. But anyway, I'm DeeTrynt, this Game Changer Sports on Industry Sports channel, man. And we gonna get into Dillon Gabriel's debut with the Cleveland Browns. All right, now during this game, you've seen some tweets of people say, "Oh, he should have started from the beginning." No, they wasted 4 weeks with Joe Flacco. And I think a lot of these people were under the impression that the Browns were just about to come out here and smoke the Vikings. Now, granted, it's possible that they could have, right? Or maybe they should have. But I feel like people forget that Carson Wentz was the top 2 pick, or that Justin Jefferson is one of the best receivers in the league, or that Classy Katina. How about this? Mary Kay just acknowledged that Shador is ready and commended his accuracy as his superpower. We already knew Shador is him. I appreciate you bringing that to the fold. We're going to get to that part of the show in a second, though. Welcome in, though, Classy Katina. So, now, I'm trying to get people to understand, right, that the Browns are still in renovation mode, all right? They finally got the defense to a point where they know what they want it to be like, and they're not even finished with it, but it's in a way further along progress than the offense. And granted, the defense still has guys like Miles, Ward, Dale Pitt. Then you surround him with guys like Newsome and Collins and Graham and Schlesinger. You know, Hickman is really coming along this year. I think he's really shown that he should be an NFL safety. Um, and you know, guys like Miles Harden trying to make a name for himself. He's been playing pretty heavy. Jerome Baker has been pretty steady. Devin Bush has been pretty steady. That defense is, I ain't gonna say loaded, but it's a lot of top tier picks on that defense. All right. Where the offense is still getting put together. I'll have you go to Ash. No, CDK. You did not say I had the Browns going to the Super Bowl. You made that up. But feel free to come up. You know how we do, baby. Feel free to come on up here and join the discussion. All right. Hey, I never had the Browns going to the Super Bowl. All right. We'll get to that part too. So, you know, people were saying Dillon should have started and all that. But I'm just, you know, getting to the point of the Browns are still building the offense. Like Jerry Jeudy was acquired because he was a better weapon than what we had, especially after losing Amari Cooper. So it was kind of like, okay, Jeudy should be a number one, but is he a number one? Right? We've watched Jeudy for the little time in Cleveland, and nothing about his game says number one receiver. It does say compliment receiver though, and I think he's a very good complimentary receiver. Not a number one. David Njoku got into the game though. What y'all know about the Njoku sighting though? I was so happy to see my guy get some touches though. You know what I'm saying? And he did his signature. Let me hop over you one time for the one time. You feel me?
Hey, I got you, Crack. I'm gonna send it to your DM.
Oh, because I was literally just about to look for it and send it to him too. All right, bet, guys.
Yeah, I got you, bro.
All right, bet. So now I love to see Njoku in the game. I like to see the fact that Njoku and Harold Fannin with Quinshawn, and people totally skip over the fact that Jerome Ford did really good yesterday. Oh my God. All right, but the offense is still coming together. We do have a number one running back. We do have two good complementary backs, whether people want to admit it or not. But I think that three-man horse back there is pretty good. We have a nice tight end room with the two. And I think a third tight end would be nice because we don't run a fullback. So I think we need a tight end that gets dirty, right? One of those athletic guys whose blocking is really good, but probably they catching not the greatest. But you can move him around and really use that. We just gonna stick with that. And you know, we got a couple pieces on the line. That's pretty good. I think we have a few receivers back there that can make a name for themselves. Ooh, I'm about to make a name for myself. But I don't believe we have a number one, right? And that's a big problem. So now let's get into Dillon Gabriel's debut. Let's read his stats. Dillon Gabriel went 19 completions of 33 pass attempts. He passed for 190 yards. He had an average of 5.8 yards of completion. He threw 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. He was sacked twice for a total of 8 yards lost. His QBR was 38.9, but his quarterback rating was 94.3. All right. Quinshawn M.F. Judkins. Oh, you know why I'm happy about Quinshawn personally? Because I said before the season even ended, Quinshawn looked like a Cleveland Brown. I'm going to go find those clips and I'm going to make sure I post those. Because I kept saying, Quinshawn looks like a Brown.
We both got our players.
You know what I'm saying?
We both got our players.
Hey, and he came and they like, hey, you know, him and Chubb. But I'm like, bro, you can't have a guy like that and have Chubb because Chubb trying to resurrect his career for real. So you kind of got to lightweight give him number one duties. And then two, if you're going to do that, don't do it behind that whack ass line. Now, Quinshawn a little younger, so he could take some of that. But, I ain't mad Chubb gone. Would I love to still have him? Absolutely. But Quinshawn is a dog. Dog. And I love it.
You're a fan of the dog, too.
We're going to get to the receiving threats in a second because fanning that dog. But I want to highlight how Jerome Ford had 5 carries for 18 yards. All right. Jerome Ford also had 2 catches for 20 yards. I think people forget that in back-to-back seasons, Jerome Ford has gone over 500 yards rushing and 500 yards receiving, if I'm mistaken, and 5 touchdowns, 5 receiving, 5 running. He is a complimentary back, and he is a very good compliment to Quinshawn Judkins. He is not Travion Henderson compliment. No, you don't get a lot of Travion Hendersons in the world, okay? That is a special player. That is a special talent. But in Jerome Ford's own right, he is a special talent. And he is a guy with a track record of being able to return kicks, catch out the backfield, and break it over for explosive plays. He's done it with us. I like the fact that he's returning kicks. I don't like him and Sampson both back there returning kicks. I don't like that. I would like to see him and Thrash, though, or him and Bond. I really think Isaiah Bond is the guy who can really open it up on the special team side as a returner, him and Ford. We'll get to that, right? But those two guys, 28 carries, Ford and Judkins, 28 carries between the two of them, 130 yards, 128 yards. Receiving wise, they had 3 catches and had 38 yards receiving. That backfield is legit. Okay. We're going to talk about the positive. That backfield legit. All right. Them tight ends, man. Let's talk about them tight ends, okay? Because Fannin been making a name for himself all year. But it was nice to see him alternate with Njoku a little bit, right? Because I felt like Njoku been doing a lot of the blocking and Fannin been doing a lot more of the receiving. But last game, Fannin dropped quite a few passes. People ain't highlighting that. But last week, Flacco tried to lean on Fannin, and Fannin did not show up. All right? Not mad at Fannin because he's a rookie, and I know he's going to be better, but he did not show up in the previous game. They went back to Njoku this game. Njoku had 6 receptions for 67 yards. He averaged 11.2 yards a catch. He's longest of 17. He had 9 targets. He had a touchdown. Harold Fannin, 4 catches for 13 yards. He only averaged 3.3 yards of reception, but he had a touchdown. And he had 4 receptions off 4 targets. So that's a better day. All right. You caught everything that was through to you. That's what was up. I'm trying to stay on the positive. Let's talk about Dillon Gabriel. All right. Dillon Gabriel played a really good game. All right. No turnovers. And to only come out with 2 sacks of all the times that line blew blocking assignments, oh my God, that had me so tight yesterday. Them tackles, that offensive tackle room is horrible. Okay. Hopefully, Cam Robinson, after a full week of practice, will be able to bring some type of consistency and some type of solidness to that left tackle position. But Conklin on that right, bruh. I mean, don't get me wrong. Conklin wasn't too bad. The left tackle spot really got all of the calls. I don't know who Levingston is, but don't play him. Do not play him, bro. You cost the Browns multiple first downs and touchdowns with your holding. That was crazy. The receivers got caught for a little bit of holding, but I'm not tripping off receivers. And to be honest, to give Levingston quite a credit, a couple of them holding calls that he got weren't necessarily that they was just holding, but he was saving his quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So I'm cool with that. Adam, what up, though? I appreciate you coming back, bro. Dillon just threw the ball away when he was blitzed. He had 14 incompletions. Well, so your first sentence is right. He threw the ball away when he was blitzed. But the 14 incompletions ain't why that happened. Okay? Jerry Jeudy dropped 2 passes. That adds his 2 incompletions, so that's 12, right? He had 4 balls batted down at the line of scrimmage. All right. So now that's 6 of your 14 incompletions. He also, what was I about to say? He also overthrew 3 passes. All right. So that's 9. So 5 of these passes, right, were true incompletions or good defense. All right. And I will give them credit. I don't know. Now, Adam say, I don't know what's wrong with Jeudy. I don't know what's wrong with Jeudy either, but we're about to turn that corner in a couple seconds, bro. So to stick with Gabriel, he did a few things that I thought was really good. Now, granted, if a lot of people don't know, the Vikings defense is like the 3rd best defense in the league, right? And don't get me wrong, you done seen some guys put some points up on them. Don't get me wrong, but everybody getting scored on this year. But their defense is fast, laterally. You're not going to get a lot of outside plays, running plays, zones. You ain't going to get a lot of that. Where the Browns was doing their damage was running up the middle and then allowing the running back to get to the second level to break it to the outside. He wasn't just getting outside plays. Even when it came to the rollouts, when Dillon Gabriel was able to roll out, they had to be really quick passes. That defensive line, that defensive front seven for the Vikings was really coming after Dillon Gabriel. And I thought he maintained his composure and held it well. But I think this is one of those games where his height really hurt him versus helped him. Now, he did a few things. He read the pocket very well. He did a good job of knowing when to step up, when to step back, when to throw it away. I thought he did a very good job of that. I thought when he was able to get a clear line of passes, he was throwing very, very accurate passes with a lot of velocity. All right. Trump is too legendary. Dillon didn't do good, I'm assuming I say. He had lead. Garrett and the D couldn't make a single play. So I don't understand how you saying that mean he didn't do good, bro. If you going by the stats, yeah. If you expected, and this is where the thing is about expectations. If you expected Dillon Gabriel to come in and be a game changer, then you had the wrong idea of the person that was playing quarterback. And that's not on Dillon. That's on your perception. I've said this from the jump. CD say, bruh, it's easy to check down for real. Yes, it's easy to check down. Okay, let me stick with the first thought right first. Dillon Gabriel did not cost the Browns the game, which is one of your first jobs as a quarterback is to not cost your team the game. He did not put them in compromising positions with his play. If anything, Dillon Gabriel had about 4 to 5 good plays negated from penalties. That's just penalties. We ain't even gonna highlight how he was victimized on first down by drops, which goes to Adam's point of.
And you can tell the play calling was extra babysitting for him because he ain't get to really throw no deeps. It was just that dink and doink, just like when Crack talking about low check downs and shit.
Well, in all fairness, though, right? Who was he throwing? I understand what y'all asking and what y'all saying, but who was he throwing it to? Like, this is the part I don't understand with y'all, right? Hold on. Travis Legendary say, Shadur will hold the ball and lose 20 yards. what has Shador ever done? Well, he's not part of this conversation, bro. So I don't even know why you brought him up. He's
No,
not
what
part
I
of the
was
conversation
saying
right now.
was we couldn't see
No,
everything
not
he could
you.
do anyway, is because he didn't get the full playbook. It was like he had to run what Stefanski gave him. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying he couldn't do what he wanted to do anyway. Like he really said it after the damn game. Like shit, yeah, I feel like I can do more. Like, but Stefanski, they had cuffs on him yesterday, first game and shit.
First game, overseas, short week, new left tackle. Like, bruh, okay, this is my thing. In order to run the type of plays that people want to see him run, you have to have time in the pocket. So I want people to point me out yesterday where he had time in the pocket. This is where I'm up. This is where I get a little frustrated. Judkins did his thing. Even Jerome Ford came in and did some complimentary work. The tight ends were working. So the middle of the field was really being controlled by the Browns. But none of that mattered because the receivers could barely break open. When they did break open, the offensive line couldn't hold long enough. My bad, but it's coming from the Sander Holics. We'll get to that in a second. Like there isn't a lot he could do. I remember on 4 different occasions, right? And only 2 of these wound up as sacks. But I remember at least on 4 different occasions where they had the running game going. They stepped back to do a play action pass. And by the time he finished the fake, he had a Vikings defender in his face. All right. So mind you, some of these was out of shotgun. Make it make sense. So if you can't even run, now mind you, a play action play takes at least 2 to 3 seconds to develop. So if you don't even got 2 or 3 seconds to fake the ball to throw it to an open person, what makes you think you're going to have the time to sit there and actually throw a good pass to somebody when you can't even step up in the pocket? Again, you're looking for attention. I'm going to hold you off for a second. So, with what Dillon had to work with, yeah, he was on a limited playbook. Bro, y'all had to fly overseas. You know what I'm saying? You're saying he did good. Okay, he did good. Okay, bet. Because I'm saying the same thing. For what he was working with, bro, he did the best he could. Don't get me wrong. Did I like to see him a few of his pass batted down? No. But I thought his receivers did nothing to help him. And when they did do something to help him, it was Isaiah Bond and Jamari Thrash. Now, I think I'm segueing to receivers. I think Jerry Jeudy should get benched. I think you should bench him. You got the Browns game. You got the game versus the Steelers.
Oh yeah, it's
Then you
definitely
got the game versus.
Definitely time to bench that boy.
Yeah, like they should bench his ass. Bench Jeudy for 2 games. That's what I would do. I would bench him for 2 games because I need to see what type of chemistry my new quarterback has with the other guys I got down there. Thrash need a chance. Lavardian need a chance. Thrash need a chance. Who else down there? Who else on here?
The other rookie was Bonds.
No, I said Bond. So I think that's all it really is, though. To be honest, bro, I didn't even hold you.
Didn't Thrash start yesterday? But it's
and they got Malachi. Malachi. The guy that came from the Jets, that Devontae Adams tried to buy his jersey number from me, and he charged him $1 million. Hey, but Malachi like 5'11", like 215. Like he got one of those like strong type of. So I ain't gonna lie. If I was the Browns, I would bench Jeudy. I would let him come back that last game before the bye to see if he got his act right. And if he didn't, I'd trade him. I'd trade the fuck out of him. Not because I don't believe Jeudy can get better, But because I feel like the Browns right now need the message of you don't perform, you can't stay here. This is the time where they can add, hey, if you can't show up, you can't stay here. Period. But I thought the offense for the most part, they was cool. Now you had those 4 drives when we had the lead and they didn't move anything. But in my opinion, though, I think people are forgetting the fact that on 2 of those drives, or I think 3 of those drives, no, 2 of the drives, they had got like 7 or 8 yards on first down and had them called back with penalties. Then on one of the drives, they had the penalty on the first play. They came back and got like 10 yards on the second play just to end up having another penalty that pushed them back. When you got a rookie quarterback, bro, penalties hurt you. Penalties hurt you, period. But when you got a young guy who's getting momentum, that is going to hurt you anyway. Now, the defense played good all up until it mattered. Okay? That last drive, and this is where I got mad at people talking about Stefanski and him managing the clock. Regardless of what you want to say about them not getting no points, right? They put the Vikings damn near on the 1-yard line. If it wasn't for that little slide and he couldn't get his toe back, they would have started that drive from the 1 or inside the 1, right? But nonetheless, even though they didn't start from the 1, they did start from the 20, which means that defense allowed Carson Wentz and them to drive 80 yards for a touchdown. People say, oh, why does Stefanski take the timeouts? Well, let's replay the sequence of events. The Browns allowed Justin Jefferson to catch 2 passes on that drive that got them into field goal range. He caught the first one over the middle, then he caught the second one on the sideline on top of Denzel Ward. Now, granted, that was a hell of a throw. Let's not play Carson Wentz and not say he didn't throw a motherfucking dime. That was a beautiful.
I just came back, bro. What you talking about? I just came back.
I'm talking about the drive now. I'm talking about the 80-yard drive that won the Vikings the game.
The fourth quarter ending drive.
Right. The game winning drive. Right. So I was saying how, just to catch you up, bro, what I was saying was when that drive started, the Browns had cut a chance to pin them on the 1. But old boy foot touched the line. So they started off at the 20, which means whether it was 99 or 80 yards, they had to go virtually the length of the field to get this score. Now, this is the number 1 defense in the league right now. So why wouldn't your head coach believe that your number 1 defense would hold them up, pent back in their own territory? That's just good coaching. That's belief in your team, right? The Browns was doing cool until they let Jay Jettis catch that pass over the middle of the field. Then he caught the one on the sideline on top of Denzel Ward. Now, what I was saying when you walked in was, let's give Carson Wentz his props because that was a beautiful ass pass. The accuracy and the placement on that pass was beautiful.
Oh yeah, that was young Carson Wentz right
Jay
there.
Jettis enough time. What'd you say, bro?
I say, yeah, that was that young throwback Carson Wentz right there.
Hey, that was a dime, okay? And it was on Ward. So guess what? It was just a good play. It was a good play, all right? But at the time, the very next play, I think it was to Jordan Mason, who tried to get out of bounds. They said he got out of bounds, but in actuality, he didn't get out of bounds. So if you don't know the rules, when they make a call like that and inside 2 minutes, there's automatically a 10-second runoff because we misplaced the timing of saying it was out of bounds and the clock should have been stopped. So because it was a missed call, you automatically get the 10-second runoff. So you can basically keep real time in the game. The refs, I thought the refs did a beautiful job of explaining the rules yesterday and calling the correct penalty calls the way they needed to be called. So, okay, boom. Um, the Browns find out, okay, he didn't get out of bounds. So now Stefanski has to call a timeout. Why does Stefanski have to call the timeout? Because a 10-second runoff takes the game under a minute. And since the Vikings are already in territory and scoring territory, there is no need for to allow them to do what they want with the clock. You call a timeout, which means now they have to run a play. They ran a play. They ran another play. Stefanski called a timeout on a third down, right? It's 3rd and 4. Stefanski has no reason not to believe that his number one defense in the league right now can't stop them on the 3rd and 4 and force a field goal. There's no reason for him not to believe that. But what do? They didn't get over it. Jordan Addison catches a 5-yard pass, 7-yard pass. Miles Harden didn't get over there fast enough. They get the first down, right? And on top of that, he doesn't get out of bounds. Okay? So now, guess what Stefanski has to do? He has to call the timeout. Why? Because it's only like 50 seconds left in the game, maybe like 57, 54 seconds. If he doesn't call that timeout, they run off 25 seconds. So now you're left with virtually 30 seconds to try to stop them from scoring and get the ball back with time left to try to drive down the field. Bro, that's impossible. He has to call that timeout. Oh, that's his last timeout. Well, what the fuck he gonna do with the timeout? He can't save it till the next game. He can't put the bitch in his back pocket and use it as a mulligan. What the fuck is he gonna do with the timeout? He has to use it. He has to preserve as much time with his defense so his offense has a chance to get the ball back. So Stefanski did nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. The problem was the defense didn't compliment their coach. All right? You let them score. You let them get a first down, spike the ball. No, they get the first down, call their last timeout. Now they're on the 20 with 4 downs and like 37 seconds left on the clock. I don't think it was nothing wrong with the defensive play call. Zone, bro, they can't go but so many yards. So there's nothing wrong in running the zone. Now, Trump says if you look, Garrett and the front four didn't get within miles of Wentz on that drive. I like how you use miles like that. That was fire. But you also have to consider the fact that they didn't run 5 receivers out. If you look at the last plays, especially those last ones, they kept extra blockers in. Jordan Mason went out late. TJ Hawkinson stayed in the block. That's why he was only going to Addison or Jay Jettis. You know what I'm saying? If the defense didn't help the coach, that's on the coach. How do you skip the player on the field? This is the part this is where I be getting so fucking frustrated. How do you exonerate the player on the field? Especially when Denzel Ward came out and said himself, that's on me. Yeah, nigga, it's on you. Nigga, you got that side. Even if you thought he couldn't make that play, you're supposed to ensure he doesn't make the play. Because you stopping that play wins y'all the game. Denzel Ward could have picked that pass off had he followed Addison. Had he just drifted to the cone, he could have either intercepted it, knocked it away, or pushed Addison's ass out of bounds. He didn't do anything. He said, bitch, I don't believe in you. And they scored.
Hey, that's exactly what he said. That's exactly what he said. He like, man, Wentz, you ain't got it in you no more. That bitch, show me. He showed his ass.
And he showed him. So how the fuck is that on the cover?
Like, damn.
Come on, bro. Like, this is, y'all so thirsty to blame Stefanski.
Ward the best cornerback in the league, hands down. He knew he fucked up. ASAP, he like, damn.
Right.
He got me. And after the game, he said it. He explained it like, man, he damn near said he ain't believing. I'm like, man, I ain't think he can throw that motherfucker.
So I don't get how people keep blaming Stefanski, bro. Stefanski called what he could call for what his players do. I hate when y'all try to.
When it comes to Stefanski, what I was mad, the only one was going into halftime. Going into halftime when we was in the red zone.
Okay.
And we ain't we had empty backfield that whole red zone, I think. Empty backfield that whole red zone.
Why do we have empty backfield the whole red zone?
I don't know.
Because them niggas can't hold no fucking blocks in the red zone.
Hey man.
When he threw the ball and scored the Fannin, right? That was a play action quick pass. Even when he turned around, he had a defender in his face. So
I'm giving
rookie quarterback.
I'm giving Junkins one shot. I'm giving him a shot, man. He getting a shot on that goal line. He getting a shot.
Now, if they keying on him, though, if they're keying on him, don't get me wrong.
Hey, if they keying on him, hit him with the fakeroo.
But there again,
don't just let them know, like, yeah, we passing this bitch.
But listen though, bruh. Again, when they ran the play actions, this is my whole point. 75% of the time that they ran play action, the line or somebody on the field fucked it up for the offense. Why are we excluding that? That's track record. I mean, if I go to try this play 5 times and 4 out of 5 times it's fucked up, why the fuck would I call this play in the clutch? That makes no sense. None. Why did he spray the field out? Because it gave his quarterback more time to throw the ball. One-on-one, the line can hold up. One-on-one, for the most part, they can hold up. But when you start bringing the tight end in, you got the running back in the backfield, which brings 2 linebackers to now guess what? You fucking it up. And on top of that, spreading the field out allows Dillon Gabriel to decipher the coverages better. Listen, this is clearly you don't know nothing about football X and O's. Clearly. If you think these are excuses for something that you can prove with film, how are they excuses? I never understood how the fact could be an excuse. It's the truth. The problem is the times that y'all actually got to crucify Stefanski, y'all never do it. The shit that you actually can hold him accountable for, y'all don't. Y'all always try to hold him accountable for shit the players decide to do on the field. How the fuck is this Stefanski's fault if a nigga catch a first down and signal first down after his catch? How is that Stefanski's fault? How? Oh, he should have took Isaiah Bond off the game. Well, what other receiver does he have? If he's gonna throw, who else is he putting in the game? Like, the problem too is people think the Browns have a complete team. Garrett is supposed to be Von Miller, TJ Water, Bosa, and get the play you need when he didn't. Ball don't get thrown if Garrett gets there. That's why he gets the buck. I have no problem with you saying that. Bro, I've been hearing this since last year. Okay, and so what? And where did the offense improve? No, I want to hear this, right? At what position did the offense improve besides getting a running back and adding Harold Fannin? Where did the wide receiver room improve? And guess what? If you want a number 1 receiver, it costs. So where do they have the money to pay for a number 1 receiver right now? Now, I want to hear this. You keep being in the contest. Bring your ass up here. You about to piss me off. Bring your ass up here. Guess what? It's game 5. So drafting 2 QBs and 2 R&Bs doesn't make sense. Well, nobody said drafting them wasn't make sense. But you thinking it like they're supposed to come in and just change the whole complexion of everything. Like it ain't 11 on 11. This is the part that I don't understand. The running backs did fine yesterday. The quarterback did fine yesterday. The receivers didn't show up, but the tight ends did. And guess what? You keep trying to exonerate the defense for losing the game. They lost the game. What the fuck do the Cavs got to do with a Browns conversation? I hate when y'all do this. Why do y'all always include stuff that has nothing to do with the conversation? I don't understand. This ain't even a Cavs podcast today. We're talking about the Browns. But because you want to play semantics, you want to add something that got nothing to do with the conversation. We're not doing that. CDK, I'm going to see you up here in the street. I know you finished or something. Bring your ass up. Anyway. You said no rebuild. I see nothing but construction signs. That was fire. But renovation is not rebuild. And I could have swore I said they needed to renovate and not rebuild. No rebuild. Renovation still calls for construction. I look at the entire pick, bro. That's why my accuracy be so gas. Okay? Because people expect the Browns to be a playoff contender this year, and I never said that. I said the Browns could win 8 games. I've said that on multiple occasions. They could win 8 games. If they get hot, they might could get 11. That's what I said. Nothing about what they're doing denotes that they can't win 8 games. Because technically, they could have won every game that they was in this year. The only one game, and it didn't get out of pocket till the end of the second half, was the Ravens game. And they was in that game. So the Browns' problem right now, how is 8 crazy? They only won 3 last year. So how is 8 crazy this year? I don't understand. I think y'all be going off this halfway logic. It's halfway logic, bro. Because the team was 3-14 last year. Oh, they were 11-5 the year before they was. And they came out of that 11-5 season with no number 1 quarterback, no number 1 running back, 3 tackles on injury reserve, Miles still recovering, Denzel still recovering, Dale Pitt still recovering. Jeremiah Wusu-Koramoah still ain't came back. So what are we talking about? I ain't knocking you if they win 4 or 5 at best. But to be very honest, they're a few plays away from being 4-1.
Question.
Or 5
trade deadline, bro.
Week 8. Week 9 is the cutoff.
Week 9 is the cutoff. Do you think they're gonna make some moves?
I think the only moves they need to make right now, speaking on the Browns, is you need tackles and you need a receiver. They need a number 1 receiver. Okay. I was hoping that Marvin Harrison had 1 more bad game so we could trade Jerry Jeudy for his ass. But he showed up the last couple weeks. We ain't getting him. That dream is said. But I do like our opportunity to get Carnell Tate. I think he would be a dog over here for the number 1, but that's down the line. I think one of the most prominent moves is if Jeudy don't get his act together, I can see him get moved. I can see that. The only other move I could see is if Flacco start complaining, I can see them letting him go. But outside of that, the Browns really don't got a lot of rooms for no moves. You know what I'm saying? They got a grace because Deshaun not playing this year, so they got that $40 million cap relief. They might get another relief next year is if Jeremiah can't come back.
Didn't we just pay Jeudy? Did we just pay Jeudy?
Did. Yeah, but we only paid Jeudy like 3 years, $40 million. Like that's not. And he got like 20 of that up front. He got like 25 of that up front. So virtually, you're just making like $5 million a year. Like you're not really hurting nothing.
Somebody will take him.
They would.
You tell him he's sabotaging. He can really catch.
No. So I will say this. I think his problem is he's not touching the ball enough. But I think also the problem is when we get a chance to give you the ball enough, you fuck up half the opportunity.
So he in the lead and dropped, so he touched that motherfucker.
And that motherfucker touched the ground. Exactly.
You touching
And it-
that motherfucker, all right.
so
Boy, player, hot
I,
pocket.
I think they should go with Isaiah Bond and Jeremy Thrash. And I think Gage Lavardian and Malachi, uh is it Malachi Corley, I think. What's this guy? What's the other receiver name? I want to say it's Malachi Corley though. They need to let them play, bro, because Jerry Judy pissing me off. He is what's the guy name? Man, Malachi Corley. They need to let him play. They need to let Gage play. And I ain't gonna lie, bro. The Browns only got 5 receivers on the roster. Bro, they ain't got nobody. They got Isaiah Bond, Malachi Corley, Jerry Judy, Gage Lavardier, and Jamari Thrash. Bro, they only got 3 receivers. So I guess the real question is, can they pick somebody up off free agency that's gonna come in here and have an impact? I think that would be the question. But I was talking to Quincy Carrier yesterday on Twitter, and he was saying that you should just give it time. He said, he bet, and you know what? When he said it, it kind of made sense because Judy didn't turn up until the middle and the end of the season last year. Like somewhere between games like 7, like after game 7, he kind of turned up. So if that's his same trajectory, then he's still just getting out the beginning of the season jitters. And I'm all for a person ending the season better than they started it. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna do that, I don't got no problem with that. That damn defense had me pissed yesterday, though. I ain't gonna hold you. Them niggas had me upset. Bruh, you can't stop Wentz at all. But 2, this is the thing about Jim Schwartz defense. He plays a hat on a hat. And I know this because I play a hat on a hat defense. I am all for man to man, okay? But I like how Flores do because I like to disguise as a zone. I like to make you think I'm running a zone and I'm really blitzing. Versus some people who like to show blitz and really run zone, I like doing it the other way. I like a quarterback seeing, okay, these guys here, and then all of a sudden you look up and there's 7 guys in the backfield and you didn't even realize they were coming. I like shit like that because, in my opinion, having a defense come down on the ball gives them a lot more reaction time or space to be able to say, oh, the ball's coming at me. Let me adjust on the fly. Versus me trying to get you to backpedal and you lightweight already beat for real, depending on the foot speed of whatever receiver or whatever target is there. You know what I'm saying? Or the height advantage. If somebody's taller than you, you can't see how far they is away from you from behind. If you jump to this Trump is legendary. He said Judy is a bust, was in Denver too. Trump also says, if you jump to any other website, the Browns fans are saying yesterday, Dillon failed. It's time for 12. Somehow I see what you see. And again, Dillon did nothing wrong yesterday. And to be honest, I don't expect to see Shador before week 12 or 13. I said this at the beginning of the season, right? Ideally, and let me just tell you all my perspectives on the quarterbacks, so this doesn't get misconstrued. Dillon Gabriel does seem like a Stefanski type of guy, but I see him more as a Kellen Moore type of quarterback. Meaning, to me, he has career backup written all over his game. Career backup, okay? Maybe at some point he could pull a Doug Flutie. Maybe he could at some point pull a Jeff Garcia. I do think as a quarterback skill set, he's better than them, like physically. But I've always seen him as a career backup. But I also feel like him and Shador games as quarterbacks complements each other. Things that Shador does well, Gabriel doesn't do well, and things that Gabriel does well, Shador doesn't do well. So I feel like them working with each other will perfect each other's game. I just feel like Shador has more of an it factor, and he's more built for the spotlight of a franchise quarterback. I think he has the game for it. I do think he processes coverage is slow, and I think Dillon Gabriel processes them faster. So as I say, I think Dillon's the career backup, Shador's the franchise guy. But I've also said too that I personally don't want to see Shador play this year. Not at all. Why? Not because I don't think he can play, because I think he's the future. I think he is the future. And after I seen what Green Bay did for letting Aaron Rodgers sit, for Brett Favre sit, for Jordan Love sit, after I seen Patrick Mahomes sit for a year, after I seen guys sit, bro, let him sit. Why? Because between Flacco, Dillon, and dare I say Deshaun, who was still on the roster, you couldn't allow Shador to pull a DTR. Again, so Trump, you kind of add to my point of why letting him sit doesn't bother me. Because he never beat a good team is not on him. He didn't have a good team to beat a good team. Let's be very clear. All right. To act like that Colorado squad was just some type of juggernaut is unrealistic. Okay. Deion's still trying to get it together. All right. That squad wasn't a top tier squad. He did what he could for what he had. He elevated his game as much as he could for the environment he was in. So this is why, again, you're adding to my point of let him sit for a couple years, bro. Let him pull a DTR. What's wrong with that? Shador sit for 2 seasons? I'm pretty sure he good. He gonna come out swinging. Because guess what? When A-Rod sat his first 2 years and he played year 3, he didn't look that good. Right? That's why they kept Favre another year. Then he looked nice in year 4. Jordan Love, the same thing. When they got to year 3 and they wanted it, he didn't look that good. But by the time they got to that next year, he had got his game up. I mean, but this ain't a Deion conversation, so we're not going to venture there. But I understand you. But guess what? It's all a process. And for those who don't know, when you, as a new head coach or a new GM, get a team, it takes you 4 to 5 seasons to just get the type of team you want on the roster. Okay? To me, by year 6, 7, right? Let's say by year 7, 8, you should be a contender. All right? Unless you're in one of those markets, right? And what I mean by one of those markets, I think we forget that players want to play where they want to live and be comfortable. A person not just gonna come to the Browns just cause, bro. A person got to realize that they got to live in Cleveland. They got to live in Ohio to play for the Browns. That means their family got to live here to play for the Browns. I don't think a lot of people consider that when they think about players and player acquisitions. Players gotta want to live there. They have to feel like it allows them to thrive. Nobody ever got $100 million and said, I wanted to move to Cleveland. I never heard that. I never heard somebody get 500 million and say, I want to move to Cleveland. I never heard that. So I'm just saying, it's a two-way street. In order to get good players, a player has to want to get here. He has to want to be here. And 9 times out of 10, because of the type of market Cleveland is, they have to get their good players through the draft. Do you honestly think 2 or 12 would have ever been noticed and say Big Ten or SEC, no Deion influence? 2. Who was 2? You talking about Shador was 2 and Travis was 12. My bad, bro. I almost had a slow moment. My bad. Okay, 2 is Shador and well, yes. I think, to be honest, I think if Shador would have went to a not small 12, not small. I think Oh, because he's 12 now and he was 2 and okay, I got you. I think if he would have went to a bigger program from the jump, I think he would have definitely developed more and better because he would have been in there with people who actually know how to coach the position up. So I think he has a natural work ethic, and that work ethic would have drove him to better his game. Oh, the Big 12 last year was a small 12. Okay, bet. Oh yeah. Damn, I keep forgetting that, bro. I do keep forgetting that they shuffling the leagues because the Pac-10 and the Big Ten, the Pac-12 and the Big Ten is now converged. It's a whole bunch of. That's right. Texas and Oklahoma left and went to the SEC. I lightweight forgot about that. I appreciate you reminding me. I definitely forgot about that. But I do think he would have developed though. I think he would have developed more. I just think playing for his dad, he got more experience, and it's possible that he may not have played 4 full or 5 full seasons as a starting quarterback. He probably would have played 2. He probably would have played maybe 3. But I do think at a bigger program, he would have had a better offensive line, and he would have had better weapons. Now, that's not to say that Travis Hunter wasn't a good weapon for him. Jimmy Horn Jr. and Devontae Webster and all them wasn't good, but compared to what he could have had, like just think about it. Just say Shador played with the Buckeyes, and he had a chance to throw to Chris Olave and Emeka Obuka and Jeremiah Smith.
And
You
just to
don't
have
think
one of
Shador
them
would have?
dominant lines like that, man. Just to have one of them Power 5 lines. He ain't had no Power 5 line.
Right? You don't think he would have went crazy?
He would
He
have went
did.
crazy.
I gotta say this, man. The man got the best completion percentage in college football history, and he never had an offensive line. That has to speak volumes. So I think another part of the reason for me saying he should sit a year is you got to cure some of those bad habits, right? Panicking in the pocket, um, not reading the defense before the play starts. Those things that you didn't really get to practice in college, you get to practice here. And you get to do it with a Browns team that has multiple versions of a quarterback, right? You got the quarterback at the end of his year who's already accomplished them and everything. You know, he's been the MVP of the Super Bowl. He's won a Super Bowl. He's been part of a top-notch team. You got a quarterback that's talented, one of the most talented quarterbacks in the league when he's healthy. You got a guy that you competed with in college, and then you had a guy who was just a journeyman. So I think just the witnessing experience alone helps him. Being able to learn the everyday nuances of the position from these guys helps him. And again, you need that year to just clear out a lot of bad habits. You know what I'm saying? I don't think personally too, Tom Brady would have just invested time in that guy just because he's Gion's son. Most QBs don't get to throw 65% of the time and be a showcase by design. I cannot agree with you on there, right? Drew Brees threw the ball a lot. Uh, I can come up even more. What was that quarterback for the Browns that beat out Derek Anderson? Threw the ball a lot in college. Who was the other older guy we got? Yeah. A lot of cats throw the ball a lot in college, bro. They be airing it the fuck out. Well, I can't say that because again, if you're saying in one breath that they went to Colorado and when they had big games they didn't perform, then you can't turn around and say they were big fish in a small pond because the Big 12 is D1. Colorado is a D1 college, so they went against D1 schools. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you say he didn't win, but that's a team sport. So they defensive line been trashed the whole time. Their offensive line was trash. Right? They literally survived off their secondary and their receiving core. And they went from they got to a college who had only won one game. The next year, they won 5 games, and the year after that, they won 8 or 9 games. That's progression. That's what you ask for. It's progression. It's to get better. Can you have a better return this year than you had last year? I mean, what else you want from it? So I think the Browns are in pretty good space, right? Right now it's a process. You have to find out who your quarterback is. I don't think that any of the 2 picks next year is going on the quarterback. I just don't. We're going to see what the Jaguars look like today. You know, they might take a loss. They might not. Cleveland could end up with 2 picks in the top 10. They can end up with 2 picks in the top 15. All I'm saying is what the Browns need right now immediately is a franchise left tackle and a franchise wide receiver. Those are the 2 biggest acquisitions they need, right? You add a Pro Bowl left tackle and a dominant, for sure, number 1 receiver, this team will look a lot better. This team will look a whole lot better. Yeah, but this ain't a college show, bruh, so we not having college talk. You feel me? We got to talk about college when I do the college segment. But I feel you. But right now, we just talking Browns. You know what I'm saying? So with the Browns, though, you know, I don't expect them to go to the playoffs, but you never know, man. They could fuck around and get hot. I do expect Stefanski to open up the offense more because I feel like Cam Robinson is going to play the whole game next time, and that left side is going to be cool. I think Conklin is going to be able to hold up with Cam Robinson on his right because I just think that you know the veteranness of that offensive line is going to kick in. Dillon Gabriel isn't the type to hold the ball unnecessarily. He's going to get it out quick, and he's going to make decisions quick as far as leaving the pocket or not leaving the pocket. So I think those things, those intangible things, bode well for the future. The running game bodes well for the future. You know, I will say though this too. Because I didn't say this in the beginning, and this is where I can understand people's frustration. Because at the end of the game yesterday, one of my first wall thoughts was Kevin has to give up the play call. I did say that. I'm not going to lie. I said that. Said that to myself. As soon as the game was over, I say, man, Kevin got to give up the play call. I don't mind him as the head coach. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like he needs to give up the play call. He definitely needs to give up the play call. I think the team as a whole needs his input in other places. And him being pigeonholed to the play caller is, but I also think the way Jimmy Haslam has it set up, I don't think he can do that. And listening to Jason Lloyd earlier, and shout out to Jay Lloyd, because I give Jay Lloyd shit all the time. I don't say all the time, but majority of time when I see him or we interact on Twitter, I give him shit. Because, don't get me wrong, let me say this out loud, right? As far as a journalist, a guy who can get inside information, I fucks with Jason Lloyd. I take nothing away from him for that. He can get conversations that a lot of people can't get. My number 1 and biggest issue with Jason Lloyd is his conclusions suck. I never understood how he can get 1 + 1 + 1 and still end up with 9. I never understood it. How you get 2 + 2 and end up with 7? I never understood why he does that. But that's my biggest beef. But in the last couple weeks, he's been, I feel like, more on the money with his explanation. And I want to say this too. This is why the Browns tight-lipped with the media, man. Y'all don't talk nothing good about the Browns. Even when y'all have a chance and have everything good to talk about, y'all don't never talk nothing good. All y'all highlight is the bullshit or the negatives. Y'all don't highlight the good stuff. The fact that Charles Schlesinger isn't being overly talked about is crazy. It's crazy. To not identify that Ronnie Hickman has really stepped up in that free safety role is crazy. Okay? To not acknowledge the fact that Ethan Pochich has held up this year and kept Wiper at bay from taking over that center spot is crazy. Y'all don't talk about none of the stuff that's worth talking about. So I understand why they tight-lipped with y'all. DeeTrynt, Game Changer Sports Talk, Industry Sports, streaming on all social platforms. You can find Industry Sports on Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, right? You can find DeeTrynt, Facebook, Instagram, X, Twitter, YouTube, all right? Make sure y'all go to the website, industrysports.com, catch up with the articles and things like that we got going on. And listen, when you see me on the show, man, y'all can come up. We usually put the link in the comments. You know what I'm saying? Feel free to come up here and have these conversations because I do listen to other people, whether people want to believe it or not. I do listen and I do take their input. And I don't take it lightly. You know, everybody has a reason why they're saying something. I will say though, if your logic don't add up though, but for the most part, you know, definitely feel free to come up, man. It's been a pleasure. We just talked Browns. We'll get back probably tomorrow talking Cavs as they kick off their preseason tomorrow. But it's been a pleasure, y'all, man. I'm gonna get up with y'all in a second.